So Stephanie, you came here a couple of days ago and to meet with some organizations and find out what's going on. So what happened? What have you found?
When you look around here and you see posts of wires all over, still everywhere, or just debris, and you're looking at posts that are just on people's houses, there's wires, every single one of those is going to have to be taken out and replaced, and then put the wires up, and then fix the wires. So, like, I mean, and we're talking about, these are remote places that are even within the city, like, that's the priority. So, because we were in Ocean Park over here, we decided to kind of what's close by, so we started hitting Piñones. There's an organization there that's called COPI, Corporación Piñones Se Integra. So when we rolled up to that, that was interesting because they had a cargo shipment that had just come from
the Bronx.
Yeah,
New York City.
Somebody in New York had organized this whole thing with multiple groups. But one of the organizations that they decided was a key organization to reach out to was COPI. And they had that culture center, so they've become a collective. But these 5 organizations, they sent all of these, it had everything. It had diapers, it had
clothing, it had food, it had baby materials or donations for kids, for babies, that diapers, clothing, formulas and stuff like. So they were dividing
among
food.
Those organizations.
Yeah.
But they even brought, so COPI, they felt like because they're kind of actually technically in the city, they have a little more resources and they felt a little more stabilized. So they actually didn't take the majority of those resources. Instead, they handed them to the other organizations who were going up into the mountains and into some more remote areas. What they kept were the wooden...
Yeah, the panels.
The panels that they had sent, some wooden panels, because you don't have that here easily accessible, so they could fix roofs or structures around Piñones. That was very cool because that felt like, even though we didn't see them actually physically taking it and distributing it, because I didn't realize there was going to be this whole collective happening, but that's the stage 1 of it. That was an organization that was succeeding over in New York, collecting all that stuff, bringing it here, and then dividing it up and sending it out to the people who need it. It was great to see that happening, and it's people here locally doing it. So that was actually a really successful visit, very successful, and I would definitely say COPI seemed legit. And again, those other organizations, I didn't see them distributing those things, but they seemed very action oriented. They were literally taking boxes off, putting them in trucks. They were having just as we were leaving, they were having a conversation about, okay, now what's next? Let's figure out how we get out there and we go distribute this.
Volunteers,
everybody volunteered, kids, old, young. It was great. It was great to see that. That's like what you imagine, right? We went to GA Caño Martín Peña, which is a community that's built, it's like 8 neighborhoods. That's why they call it GA, I guess. It's because it's 8. I don't know a ton of the history about this, except that it's right in the city. It's in, Caño is like a marshland. So this is also, again, a very impoverished area. It's always been a very impoverished area. We found out that there's 30% of the community has no sanitary conditions, like no running water. It's like a forgotten area that is right here in the heart of things. Anyway, I think there's 26,000 people in that space. It's just completely like a dense, like back-to-back shacks. But anyway, right outside of it is this organization. They're a well-established 401c3. When we walked in those doors, that is an organization. They've got their stuff together. They're doing great work. You can see the work that they're doing. You can see, but even when we asked, like, what kind of recurso, what kind of things do you need there, they're like, we're a little beyond. Again, same thing. We're not like in the food and water stage anymore. We're here in the city, so we've got that. But what we worry about is pest control, for instance, like rat control, avoiding plague. Mosquitoes. And when you think about it, it's built in marshland. I mean, if you were to go there, there's water within there somewhere. It's not obvious where we were, but it's there. So I'm sure that they have a real mosquito problem. So they're more in controlling disease stage from that humanitarian standpoint. That's where they're at. So that was also eye-opening. They were like, we're in a different level and a different stage. But again, I feel like that's a great organization. They're doing a lot of good work. definitely helping get things taken care of. I think if you gave them money, they are an
So
organization
the
that
GA
is.
is really good.
There were probably like 50 people in there working, or more.
Yes.
I mean,
it was a whole organization.
It was definitely organized. Yeah. So when I look at what I've been looking at for the last couple of days, I mean, I just have more questions than answers. I don't know that I really have gotten to everything that I need to get to. But I think it's good. I think it's worthwhile effort. It's just hard to get to all these. We're talking about, you know, moving from the big organizations to the smaller ones, and getting to those is hard. It's hard to understand who is filling in the gap of the getting the actual things to the people that need it.